Hey, how's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. Aston Villa lost to Everton 1-0. Arsenal goes 7 points clear on top of the table, which on paper seems very nice. It seems very nice. We have some gap, but kinda cannot also help but having that sour taste in my mouth, and maybe you have it as well, because at this stage Arsenal have had all the possibilities, you could argue, to be double-digit points, 11, 12, 13, maybe even more, to a certain degree clear, right, at the top of the table. It may seem enough. We are 22 games in the season, 16 games to go, 48 points on the board still up for grabs. It may seem it quite a lot. At the same time, it kind of can seem also like nothing, right? Because Arsenal so far this season have shown the most consistency compared to every single team we have played and other teams that have played. Arsenal have 15 wins, 5 draws, 2 losses, only 2 losses, which is quite fantastic if you ask me, right? Other teams obviously are close in wins, but they lose 3 games more, and basically that makes all the gap at the end of the day. It is what it is. But as I said, I cannot help but have this sour taste in my mouth, because yes, we are 7 points clear. We could have been more to some degree. Maybe at some stages could have been less. Let's just put it that way. But it feels like something is still not clicking for Arsenal. Even though we are flying high, so to speak, top of Champions League, top of Premier League, semi-finals, just beat 3-2 Chelsea away in Carabao Cup semi-finals. We are playing Wigan in the next round on FA Cup. So Arsenal are in all 4 competitions. But again, there is this big but that just I cannot help to shake it off. Let's just put it that way, because the performance is still kind of makes me more to be desired. Let's just put it that way. It definitely makes you wish for more, because we drew, other teams lost. Technically speaking, I should be happy. We increased the gap, 1 point extra, but it should have been more. It should have been more. And that is the biggest worry for me with Arsenal, because every single weekend, most of the time, if we win, our teams we face off against also win. The other title challengers, let's just put it that way. At the same time, when they lose, we also draw or lose. And that for me is the biggest worry about of this, because at home, yes, we have sublime record. Sublime. Haven't lost all season still, which is quite phenomenal at this stage. Let's just say it as it is. Away record is the one that actually is a bit of a yikes. Let's just put it that way. That's the one that is costing us, because we lost both games away. Most of the draws are away, right? But Arsenal, again, as I said, most of the City, Aston Villa, let's talk about them right now. They lose, Arsenal draw. If we win, we go extra 2 points. We definitely dropped 2 points against Nottingham Forest this weekend, right? But every single weekend, it's either the same gap or Arsenal tend to increase the gap, but just only by 1 point. And again, every single weekend when that happens, it's an opportunity missed to put the season to bed. Because if we were right now sitting here, 22 games in, 16 to go, oh, we are 12, 13 points clear, maybe I wouldn't be talking about this as much. But we have seen Arsenal lose those 8-point lead. Obviously on the table, we are 7 points now. Saying that, it's not the same City. It's not the Liverpool. Villa will be up there till I think April, late April. They might fall off then, just because they don't have enough depth in the team, in my opinion. At the same time, it might be enough. They might actually go and win it, because if Aston Villa wins the league, how does that make City look? How does that make Arsenal look? Because at the moment, the haters' narrative, right, of the rivals and everything, it's a shit league. They say it like that. It's a shit league. Right? But at the end of the day, you can only beat what's in front of you. So at the end of the day, I am happy that we are on top of the table, 7 points clear. But as I said, that big but, I cannot help to shake it off. Right? I have these worries about the performances that are not there, and it doesn't take a lot, basically, for Arsenal. Let's just say we draw 2 more games. Villa City win both next 2 games. 3-point gap. No, it's even less. Isn't it? We draw, we get 2 more points, they get 6 points, right? That's 4 points less. Yeah, 3-point gap. 3-point gap. Whole pressure cooker settings all over again. Because one slip up and they're up there with us. Not to mention we still have to play City away. Yes, it's not the same City, but our record at Etihad leaves much more to be desired. And I know it's only on April 18th when we play them, but it is what it is. Villa is out of the way. We should not be worried about them. Now, for me, the worry is now that we have to play United next weekend. And we just saw how United played against City. Absolutely, well, smothered them, stabbed them in their tracks, and they didn't do much. And that for me is the next big worry in all of this. How Gehi is going to fit into all of this? Will that make defense better? Maybe less shaky and everything? We'll have to wait and see. But if United come to the Emirates, again, hold us to a draw even, but City go and win, Villa go and win and everything, again, it's gonna be a very, very rough situation, no matter how you look at it. For me, the biggest concern are the performances, because at some point the results are gonna catch up. And obviously, I cannot expect to win every single game. I have totally accepted that Arsenal are going to draw the games, and Arsenal are going to lose maybe even some games this season, and they most likely will, let's be real. At the same time, for me, it's more about the way you lose the games or draw the games compared that you actually have done it. Because you can draw and lose a game and, well, basically have nothing to show for it during the games. We beat Wolves. Did we deserve that win? I don't... Well, we all know how that went, right? We drew against Nottingham Forest yesterday. We didn't do much. We lost to Liverpool, right, at the beginning of the season. We didn't do much there as well. For me, the biggest thing is, if we lose a game, right, for me, it's about how you lose it. Because if we go for it, throw kitchen sink at it, have like back in the day when Oblak was standing on his head in the semifinals of Europa League, Neuer was standing on his head, Pickford was having game of his life, and we draw that game or lose that game, it's okay because you actually created, you just were not lucky enough, right? But right now, with the way these are going, at some stages, these performances are gonna come out, and it usually comes out when we play these games after our straight rivals have played them and have suffered a loss or a draw. Somehow Arsenal don't tend to capitalize on them as much as maybe people would expect and hope as Arsenal fans, and that basically causes this big question mark still. It doesn't mean we are not happy. I'm very happy that we are on top of the table. 7 points clear. It looks like it is Arsenal's league to win at the moment just because how other teams are performing. Liverpool just drew to Burnley at home, let's be real. United absolutely annihilated to a certain degree Man City at home, right? It's going to be interesting to see when United comes to us. It's going to be interesting to see when we go to City. All that stuff, but with Arsenal's performances, they need to improve. They definitely need to improve. And if that doesn't happen, it's gonna be very worrisome season because the longer, for example, every single game we play, it stays a draw, 0-0, 1-1, whatever, right? I don't know what's gonna happen. Every time our team's gonna go the attack, it's gonna be panic settings. Because 7 points, it's like a safe false of safety. Literally, it's a safe feeling of safety at the end of the day. It's a false safety feeling because it doesn't take a lot for these 7 points to disappear, because 7 points clear, you kind of have some wiggle room. You kind of have some, as I just said, I'm mumbling too much, I'm sorry. That's a false sense of safety, right? It's like being 2-0 up, right? Because you think, oh, if we concede once, we still have the lead and it's all going to be good, but that one goal builds the momentum for the other team. It keeps them going. You are under lots of pressure. And with Arsenal, it kind of could happen the same, because if out of the nowhere, right, we lose a game, Villa City win, it's 4 points. And again, City are going to smell the blood. No matter what state City are in, they didn't look great, let's be real. At the same time, they know how to do things. They know how to go about things. And the manager is a big effect and a big influence on that. And you cannot kind of exclude the human, emotional, and experience factor in this, because our team has won nothing. They don't know how to feel what it takes. They know how it is to lose it countless times. They don't know what it takes to win it, how it feels to win it. And I really hope this season it's the first time, because for me personally, if we're going to win the Carabao Cup, I know it's still far ahead to look at it, but if we beat Chelsea, if we go to the finals, we play, most likely going to face City, right? If we beat City, then I'm going to be super excited, super comfortable that if we win Carabao Cup, we most likely going to win the Premier League. Because that will be the first time this team as a unit will have tasted, well, victory, success, trophy, armpits. That emotional lift is gonna most likely carry them throughout the season, just like Pep used to say. I like to win the Carabao Cup because that gives that extra second wind into the team for the rest of the season, no matter what competition they are remaining in, right? But so far with Arsenal, when, as I said, when opponents drop points, Arsenal drop points. Yes, we might increase the gap by a draw, but we are still dropping points, because for me the draw, it's points dropped at the end of the day, because at Forest, against Forest, we should be winning. There's no argument about that. And it feels like every single team in the league are doing their best efforts, are putting in their best efforts to allow and help Arsenal to win the league. So it feels that way. Let's just put it like that. And yet Arsenal are doing everything in their power at these given stages to keep the opponents close, to be in control. And that for me is a big worry, which I don't like. Because the longer they are close to us, the longer, God forbid, the gap decreases, the longer that and the sooner that happens, the bigger worries we're going to have come to end part of the season. And I don't want that. I would love for us by March, right? Imagine it's March, we are 12, 15 points clear. I will say that we have won the league, because there is no chance in hell that Arsenal are going to go on 6, 7, 8 game losing streak, and at the same time Villa or City are going to win 6, 7 games in a row just to get the gap, to increase the gap, to minimize, demolish or overtake us, right? So for me, that is the biggest worry. And I just hope that this doesn't turn into one of those horror stories where we are all good, all fine, feeling safe, feeling positive, and then bang, out of nowhere, something happens that absolutely shocks the system. That for me is the biggest concern. Don't get me wrong, I'm not negative about this. I'm super happy that we are top of the table, we are 7 points clear, we are looking most consistent team in the league, but I think we are relying on our defense too much sometimes. We don't have the answers in the attack against specific games, specific teams, and you wish you did, because usually it's the same teams, the same type of teams, same places in the table, and same instances. And that for me is the biggest worry, because it happened years before. It happened like that against Everton, Burnley, Southampton, and it happens all the time like that. And I just wish that for once we would actually take the initiative to get over that hump and just make a strong statement that we are here and we gonna do this. Because it still feels that, as much as people want to say, as much as players want to say, we believe that we can do this and everything, based on these performances, sometimes it feels like they still don't believe in it. And that comes from the manager, it goes into the players, and then it kind of gets replicated on the pitch, right? So sometimes it feels that way. I don't know if it's just me or is it just you. Let me know down in comments below. But yeah, Arsenal are top of the table, 7 points clear. We have increased the gap, but still I have a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. So let me know what you think. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, as I said, comment, and see you soon. Peace.